basically claiming that Jesus, the son of Maryam, is the son of Allah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He leaves it vague. He says, وَقَالُوا, because they're not the only ones who attributed to Allah an offspring. So Allah in this verse, He's rebuking and refuting the Christians, but also those who mimic them from the Jews, who said Uzair. Some of them, a denomination of them, said Uzair ibn Allah. They said Uzair is the son of Allah. And also the pagans who said that the angels are the daughters of Allah, right? That the angels are the daughters of Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse, He belies all of them and labels their claim attributing an offspring to Allah entirely false. He goes on to say, Subhana, free and far removed is He from any such thing. So now, basically Allah is saying here, this assertion does not befit Him. And it is an insult of the worst and most egregious kind. Al-Bukhari, he recorded the hadith in Ibn Abbas in which the Prophet ﷺ, he said, قال الله تعالى كذبني ابن آدم ولم يكن له ذلك وشتمني ولم يكن له ذلك فأما تكذيبه إياي فيزعم أني لا أقدر أن أعيده كما كان وأما شتمه إياي فقوله لي ولدا فسبحاني أن أتخذ صاحبة أو ولدا. So in this hadith, the Prophet, he says that Allah says, the son of Adam has denied me, and he has no right to do that. And he has insulted me, and he has no right to do that. As for him denying me, he claims that I am unable to recreate him as he was and resurrect him. And as for him insulting me, he claims that I have a son, free and far removed am I from that. It is not befitting that I should have a wife or a son. So you see here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes their statement as an insult and a lowering of his status, which is why Allah says what? Subhana, right? Free and far removed. It is beneath him that he would have a son. Also in the two Sahihs, in the Sahihain, in Bukhari and Muslim, it is recorded that the Messenger of Allah said, لا أحد أصبر على أذى سمعه من الله إنهم يجعلون له ولدا وهو يرزقهم ويعافيهم. So he said in this hadith, no one is more patient and tolerant of an insult hurled in his direction than Allah. Right? No one has been insulted and tolerated it and was patient with it like Allah. He says they attribute a son to him, yet he still gives them sustenance and health. It is an insult to say that Allah has what? Has offspring, and it is a lowering of his status. ثم بعد ذلك Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says بل له ما في السماوات والأرض. He says, in fact, to him belongs whatever is in the heavens and the earth. And Allah follows up saying Subhana, free and far removed is he, by saying what? That to him belongs all that is in the heavens and the earth, as if to say the relationship between Allah and everything else in existence, whether that's Jesus or Maryam or the angels in general or Gabriel in specific, the relationship between him and everything fil wujud, everything in existence is what? The relationship of creator and creation. There's no creature that can rise to the level of what? Of divinity, which is what the Christians say. They say, oh, he was born without a father, and he did these miracles. He gave life to the dead, right? He healed the leper, and he was without sin, and. So what? They say what? Somehow he rose to the level of divinity. No one can rise to the level of what? Creator. It's creator and creation. And that includes what? The aslah salihin, the most righteous of the righteous ones, will never reach the level of divinity. He does not have offspring as they claim. So rather, the heaven and the earth, as he says, and whatever and whoever is in it or on it or in between, are all part of Allah's dominion. Allah is the supreme authority in the heavens and the earth, and He is the creator, provider, and sustainer of all that exists, the one who determines all the affairs of the creation as He wills. All creatures are Allah's servants and are owned by Him. They are His property. Therefore, how could one of them be His son? The son of any being is begotten by two beings on equal footing and with similar makeups. You have a horse, which is the child of what? horse, and a camel, which is the child of two camels. Right? Flowers produce what? Other flowers. That the things that come or as offspring of other things are what? Are similar to them. Allah has what? وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. He has nothing which is what? Which is on his plane. Right? Allah has no equal or rival sharing his grace and greatness. So how can he have a son when he has no wife and no peer? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and there's certain ayat that Allah mentions and reiterates this. So we'll mention a couple of those. One of them he says, بَدِيعُ السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ أَنَّ يَكُونَ لَهُ وَلَدٌ وَلَمْ تَكُنْ لَهُ صَاحِبَةٌ وَخَلَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. He is the originator of the heavens and the earth. How can he have children when he has no wife? He created all things and he's the owner of everything. He also says in Surah Maryam, Surah Maryam, he says, وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدًّا تَكَادُ السَّمَاوَاتُ يَتَفَطَّرْنَ مِنْهُ وَتَنشَقُّ الْأَرْضُ وَتَخِرُّ الْجِبَالُ هَدًّا أَنْ دَعَوْا لِلرَّحْمَنِ وَلَدًا وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لِلرَّحْمَنِ أَنْ يَتَّخِذَ وَلَدًا إِنْ كُلُّ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ إِلَّا آتِ الرَّحْمَنِ عَبَدًا لَقَدْ أَحْصَاهُمْ وَعَدَّهُمْ عَدًّا وَكُلُّهُمْ آتِيهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَرْدًا. And they say, the most gracious Allah has begotten a son or offspring or children. Indeed, you have brought forth, you have said a terribly evil thing, whereby the heavens are almost torn and the earth is split asunder and the mountains fall in ruins, that they ascribe a son or offspring or children to the most gracious Allah. But it is not suitable for the majesty of the most gracious that he would beget a son or offspring or children. There is none in the heavens and the earth that comes unto the most gracious Allah except as a servant. Again, the relationship of what? Of ma'bud and ibad. Khaliq or makhluq. That's the relationship between God and everything in existence. He is the one who is worshipped and everything else worships him. Everything else is a servant. Everything is subservient. He is the creator and everything else is creation. Verily, he knows each one of them and has counted them a full counting. And every one of them will come to him alone on the day of resurrection without any helper or protector or defender. ثم بعد ذلك Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُلُّ لَهُمْ قَانِتُونَ. Right? He says all of them are qanit to him, subject to his will. So the scholars of Islam, they have these different interpretations. None of them are mutually exclusive for the word qanit or qanitin. What does Allah mean when he says that? And they give these interpretations, but all of them are what? They're similar in meaning or shades of meaning. They're not contradictory. It's not like one or the other. So for example, Ibn Abbas, he said, Musallin. They all pray to him. Ikrimah and Abdul Malik, they said that they are, how do they put it? Muqirrun lahu bil ibadah. Bound to him in servitude. Sa'id ibn Jubair said that qanit, it means mukhlisin. They are sincere. Rabi ibn Anas, he said, qa'imin lahu yawm al-qiyamah. Standing up before him on the day of resurrection. Everybody's going to come and do what? And put their head down and stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, humbled and humiliated and just waiting for what? For the judgment. Fariqun fil jannah wa fariqun fis sa'ir. People can big themselves up in this world, and they can raise other people as if they're what? On the same plane with Allah. Kullu lahum qanitun. Kullu lahum qanitun. All of them will come on the day of judgment, what? Standing before Allah, waiting for judgment. Then he says, As-Suddi said, it means muti'in lahu yawm al-qiyamah. They'll be obedient on the day of resurrection. And Khasif, he said that Mujahid said it means qanitun. Muti'un. And then he explained. He said obedient. For example, Allah says, be a human, and they're human. He says, be a donkey, and they become what? A donkey. Just like when Allah said to those Jews that were disobedient, He said, "Kunu qiradatan khasi'in." Become apes, humiliated, and they became what? They became apes. Y'all see that? So how can we say Allah has a son? When Allah is the creator, everyone is obedient to him, and he does with you, like anybody does with their property, he does with the people how he wills. Be a human. Be a donkey. Be an ape. Turns into an ape. Y'all see that? And so these are the ma'ani, or the meanings of the ayah. And with that, we'll conclude our remarks. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as always, to make us from those who listen to the talk and follow the best of it. وَجَزَاكُمُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. Yeah.